Hey, welcome back, everybody.
We are back.
Back in the cabin again.
And winter has arrived.
Yes, it has. In full force.
It was a roller coaster weekend for winter.
Yes, it was.
Snow, rain, ice, back to snow.
Right. Hey, before we really get started tonight, for those of you who are on the live stream, let's wait till we make sure somebody's checking in here and gets online, because I want to have you guys do something for me, if you don't mind. We do our shares as well.
Yeah,
so
let's do some shares.
let me reload here, and we will get rocking with tonight's show. And let's see, there we go. We got.
There we are. Okay.
Only got one on so far, so
Let's go and
there's
share.
two. But what we're going to do is I'm gonna boost the audio just a little bit. We've been playing around with some things, so I'm going to turn it up just a notch here, and you guys let me know if it's okay on that end. So we're going to crank it up just a little bit and do a little testing with y'all while we're getting ready to do our shares here. So drop a comment in the section. Sounds good? Too loud? We'll go from there.
Right, exactly.
So we're going to go ahead and do our sharing and get that out of the way. And as fast as that happened, I'm done, Danny.
Way to go. Almost.
So let's see who we got on. Tom Genzel. Hey, what's going on, Tom? Yeah, just if everything's okay on the audio side there, just let us know. We cranked it up just a little bit here to try to help out. We've been playing with a few things that we were dropping this weekend. So it looks like people are piling in now. So good deal.
All right. All right, last share.
All right.
And ready.
Okay, you're all set. Keeping your powder dry. Trying to, Tom. Yeah, it's been a kind of a wet, sloppy, cold weekend.
Well, it was warm.
Yeah, it was, and now it's not. So
I tell you what, it was weird. The weatherman said get out early to clear the snow yesterday morning.
Right.
Because it's going to get heavy and rain. And
right.
No lie. He's right.
Yeah, it did rain, and it rained quite a bit.
Yeah, it did.
Like it louder. Okay, good deal. Glad it's helping out a little bit there. Like I say, we've just been playing with some stuff, and we figured out a few things while we're doing the video drops that actually it seemed to help a little bit. So coming back from ATA, this board was a wreck.
Right. Reset.
We're slowly trying to put things back together and make it sound a little bit better. So hopefully it all works out. Okay, you ready to get this thing going tonight?
Let's do it.
All right, let me get this record going, and we will rock on. Here we go. Stand by in 3, 2, 1. Welcome back to another episode of the Edinburgh Journal, buddy. Host Mike Adams in the cabin tonight with Dan DeFall. Man, the snow. It was fast and furious.
It was...
and I'm not talking like the movie.
No, that would have been kind of cool, because there was no snow in that movie, I don't think. But yeah, the snow's back. I guess winter's back. Or I guess winter's arrived.
Yeah, I think it's arrived.
Because man, for being January 19th.
Yeah, we're starting into the third week, really, of January.
Right, exactly. And we're just starting out. This past weekend, we had a winter storm come through and dump, 6 inches out there or so. And it went from snow to the fort. I know it was at 35 at one time. And then it rained. And then it got cold again, froze, and then it snowed overnight. It was snowing when I came over. Yeah, it was. It was coming down pretty good. But before we get started, speaking of snow and cold, let's talk about some good things that people can be using here in this weather. Exactly. And the first thing up, our friends over at huntersblendcoffee.com. That's right. We're drinking it right now. And if you go over there and you use the promo code, capital U, capital N, capital J, you'll get 10% off your order when you check out. So make sure you go over there and visit huntersblendcoffee.com. And who else? Our friends over at Buck Baits came out with some great things at ATA. Absolutely. Was drumming up some real good interest in them. I'm sure we'll be seeing those down the road here. But you can go over to the website, check out his lineup that he has of cover scents and other items there. And if you use the promo code Up North Journal, you'll get 20% over at buckbaits.com when you check out there.
That's not all.
That's not all. You know what? I just talked with Rebel 6 this week. We're going to be teaming up again this year. So if you go over, use the promo code North Journal, get 20% off your order over at rebel6rubs.com on your checkout, because this, good thing you can do indoors. You can still use Rebel 6 Rubs on whatever you're cooking, fish,
absolutely,
meat, right?
All the good stuff.
Exactly. So, with that being said, a good crock pot meal or something like that, put in a crock pot, the chili or something like that, good day for it, I tell you what.
Yeah, especially on a day like this.
Right, exactly. So
I've seen a lot of people actually starting to taking their game from this season and making things and posting them on Facebook, and you guys got to stop that. It's making me hungry.
I know, right?
That's good stuff.
Denny Steiner had buffalo and noodles. Mm-hmm. Man, did that look good. But you pointed out the Looney Tunes glass.
I remember those. He had his dinner plate and had this big glass of iced tea sitting there, and it had Porky the Pig on it. And as soon as I seen that, I said, I remember those glasses. They used to give them out at Hardee's.
Yes.
You get a drink when you dine in and you pay for the glass. We had a whole collection of them. I think we had 2 or 3 sets.
We had. I remember glasses, I think, from Hardee's. I think I remember glasses from Little Caesars.
Yeah.
There was even my mom and dad had a set of the Mackinac Bridge glasses. I want to say they got those at Shell. Yeah, I'm not sure.
We had a bunch of those at our cottage, and I think those we packed those away and brought them home, or either my wife's mother has them at her cottage. Mackinac Bridge, Hartwick Pines, St. or Sioux Locks, and there was a 4th one. I can't remember what it was.
Was it like a frosted glass?
Tequamana.
Was it a frosted glass?
It was frosted, green frosted glass, and it had like a scene on it. Yeah, but those are the Michigan collectibles.
Yeah, exactly. So
yeah,
it's one of those things, but people post this stuff and you're trying to look at the food, but it's like, but that glass,
right? I want to go on a tangent. You're talking about collectible stuff. Can you do a favor real quick and just like pop right over there in front of that printer and grab those patches? It sparks something here that I want to take off on real quick, because it's I just think it's pretty cool here in Michigan. And I know a lot of other states have these, and I used to collect these, still do. I mean, I haven't got any of the newer ones, except for the ones I've shot. But basically, here in the state of Michigan, these are called Hunter's Successful Michigan Deer Hunter patches. That one's 1982. Actually, this is the second one that I've got. The original one I got was actually the year I shot my first buck, shot my first deer.
So it belongs to
that one there over top of you. Yeah, you can't see it here, folks, but but yeah, my first buck. This one's 1996 and 2004. For those of you on the podcast, obviously you can't see them. You have to come back and check out the show. There's a National Wildlife Federation patch here that somehow I wound up with. 2002 deer patch, another 2004, 1986 patch. But what they do now, here's a 2006 and a 2005. But if I remember, they redesign the patch every year.
Yep, they have a contest actually they send out, I think you can send it out, they'll have a contest.
They do that for the deer and bear patches? I know they do the turkey patch.
Yeah, the turkey one, I think they do that for the patches, all of them.
They started these in 1972, I believe, in the state of Michigan. 72 or 74. And if you, heads up on these, if you start collecting these things and you get them off eBay, I'm going to tell you right now, there's a lot of what's called replicas, and they've made replicas of the old patches, because the old patches back from like in the 70s, like 72 to 79, are extremely hard to find.
Oh, but they replicated them.
And people were selling them as is, and yeah.
Oh, really? Well, yeah, I'm sure, because, come on, now this day and age, you take this, you just put this on a color printer, and then you could match this up.
Yeah, digitize it.
Yeah, digitize it and
make a file and sew it.
Yep.
So, but
good to know.
Back when I first started collecting these things, I want to say the 72 patch was like $200 or $300, and I think it's a heck of a lot more now.
Really?
Yeah, but anyway, I've got a couple. I've got the replica patches from 72, 73, and 74. I think maybe 75. I think the first original I have is either 75 or 76.
Scott Bass says Hey, you're looking especially good with that Easy Cut T-shirt.
Oh, you like that, huh? Here's a little hint or a little something. Easy Cut's got something new coming out.
Yes, they do.
That's all we're gonna say. Stay tuned.
Adam, it says where are you located? Do you know where Adam Wynn is located?
No, I don't.
Because he says the nearest check station is an hour away from him.
Check station. Oh, where they used to give these out.
Well, that's where you get them, right?
Yeah.
You get them at the check station, and here, his is an hour away.
Actually, when I got, like I said, this is another one I got from our deer camp. There was a bunch of them, and our camp manager, he knew I collect them, so they were just laying around. He's like, "Here, take these. I know you'll appreciate them."
Oh, okay.
So, but mine, the first one I got, 82, when I shot my buck, and that was actually, strange enough, up where I was elk hunting this year.
Yes, it was.
And it was running with a big bull elk. When I killed that buck, I drug that deer in back to the parking area, and we were on state land. It was a new section of state land that was just opened up to hunting.
Okay.
That year or a year prior, one or the other. Anyway, long story short, I was sitting there, and my dad and the two other gentlemen we were hunting with took off. And I'm sitting in the parking area on this little mound of dirt or whatever. I don't even remember. But I was sitting there waiting for I'm like, well, I don't know where they went. They left me here, but I got to wait because I'm not walking back 10 miles back to the cabin.
Right, exactly.
So in that time before they drove back to come back and get me, the DNR pulled in. And they checked me. They checked the deer and congratulated me, and we're just sitting there talking, and he's like, well, he said, we got your deer checked in now. He says, here's your successful hunter patch. So the DNR actually had these on them. I don't know if they still do, if they carry them with them. I would assume if they
did they take all the measurements and everything? Do you
Back
remember?
then, no, they checked the license, they checked the tag, make sure I had it tagged right, you know,
right.
and then look the deer over, and that was kind of it.
Okay, so I'm going to go with they probably don't these days, kind of make you try to go to the check station.
Don't know. I don't know how that works now, if the DNR still has them with them or not. It's a good question. We have to ask them.
Adam Wynn, Livingston County. Okay, I know where your check station's at. Yep.
Livingston. Actually, depending on where you're at in Livingston County, I know here in Holly, the Holly State Rec area,
You can take it there.
that's a check station.
And then you
just
can,
off I-75.
Yeah, and sometimes I know, sometimes the DNR is depending on when it is.
Mm-hmm.
I know the gun season. Sometimes they'll have one like at Richardson's Meat. She'll be there.
Right.
So
yeah.
but you can take it over to Holly. That's where I took mine. And but yeah.
You got your patch along with it?
Yep. So. Absolutely.
But yeah, that'd be an interesting question. Next time we see a CO, we'll, if I can remember it, and you ask them, say, do you still carry the successful hunter patches with you if you check somebody in the field?
Absolutely.
So I would think they do when they come across people like that.
No, they always check you.
Mm-hmm.
They just might have a patch.
When's the last time you were checked?
Out in the field?
Yeah.
I was. It was before 2002. What had happened? We were up at our property. We didn't have the cabin at the time, and we had come out to the road, and we were kind of just hanging around the truck, and all of a sudden the DNR pulled up. Well, he came and he says, "Hey, how's it going?" Blah blah blah. Yeah, and then he pulls out a plat book.
Mm-hmm.
He goes, "What's your?" We sold them. We're hunting here. He goes, "Okay, so
what land do you hunt?
What name?"
Yeah.
And I told him the names, and I showed it right on the plat book. Here, and here. He goes, "Okay, good." Because the reason
he wanted to make sure you weren't trespassing.
Well, besides that, what was happening was they were having an epidemic of hunters going up and actually posting state land as private land. Don't hunt. Along the road, you're driving down the road, you look over, and what you thought was
state land
or federal, it's now posted. Oh,
right.
I can't hunt there. Keep going.
Right.
Well, if you're not, and the section we're in is mainly all private anyways.
Right.
But they just wanted to make sure we knew what was going on.
Right.
And so he explained that. Yeah, just up the road. That's what some people were doing, is they were taking no trespassing signs, putting them up on land, which was actually public land, and being able to hunt.
I think we just got word on the item we were talking about from Scott. See, I didn't know if we could actually talk about it or not, so I didn't say anything. But
So yes, Scott Bass. Yes, it's called Little G.
the little G, yes.
Small but mighty. If you want, I'll give 2 away to any contestant or trivia question on today's show.
Speaking of, we don't have trivia question, but I tell you what, that does remind me. I need to publish our poll,
Right.
and it's up live now. It doesn't have to do with anything, but is anyone getting out on the ice yet and doing some fishing? So
Right,
yes,
exactly.
no, or want to, but the ice isn't quite thick enough yet. So
You know what? And if Scott Bass is going to be really generous and give 2 away,
everybody who comments in our comment line, we'll put you in for a drawing, and we'll draw a name, and then we'll pass that along to Scott to get a hold of you on Facebook.
yeah.
So
and
there you go.
And we'll pass that along, and we'll give away 2 little G's today.
So you got to like that. And right now, there's only 2 people in there, so that's commented. So you guys start dropping comments. Just say hi, hello, whatever. Throw us a question.
Yep. Just put something in the comment, and we'll go from there.
So you got to like that.
Absolutely. Thank you, Scott.
That is direct action from one of our supporters. You got to love that.
Right. Exactly. So
And actually, Scott, if you're still on here, I saw you down at ATA. You were talking with somebody, didn't want to interrupt, but that's the only time I ran across paths with you. We were so busy down there, and we're going to talk a little bit about ATA here in just a few minutes. So
yeah, we saw him. Right, was by the ice booth.
could have been.
It was somewhere. I remember because we walked by him, and then we were busy.
Yeah, it was.
No doubt about it.
It was a busy week. So, but
so
talk about getting checked.
So what he did was told us what the game was, and he was just verifying who we were, making sure we were all legal, and then he went on. But that was the last time, and that was prior to 2002.
Well, that time I was checked, that was 1982, and then since then I've only been checked 3 times, and they were all within the last 10 years, and actually 2 of them were at the same place. It was over at the Seven Lake State Park. Once when we were ice fishing, it was by a park ranger, wanted to see our fishing license. Which,
Okay.
Show them the license, no big deal. Good interaction. And then about that same time, my oldest daughter, she was 12, 13, 14, somewhere in that age range, and we were out turkey hunting. And it was right after they had changed the law. Well, she had to be 14. Yeah, she'd been 14 because I think it was before they changed the law to where you could be younger as a mentor. I think. Maybe not. I can't remember. Anyway, she was right around that age. And we got stopped by a CO while we were coming out of the field turkey hunting. And actually, he was looking for somebody who was hunting, had been hunting in the no hunting side of the park.
Okay.
And he would kind of give us a description and everything. And, it was what I really appreciate about it is the time he took with my daughter and, interacted and talked with her, and we had a really good interaction. I actually got a picture made with them and everything, so that was really cool. And then one other time we were bow fishing over on Lake Panema here locally, and I had my buddy who is the coon dog, has the coon dogs and runs coons at night, and we got stopped on the water that night because somebody called, hey, there's
That's right. Yeah.
somebody on the water over the lights. And they actually sent out the county sheriff on that one because they patrol that lake. And he stopped us and asked, hey, I just need to see your fishing license and yada yada yada, and make sure your bows are secure and all that while you're traveling. And we were good to go. So I've had 3 in the last 10 years.
So now that you're bringing things back to me, 2 summers ago when I was up on fishing up on Lake Mishigami up by the cabin, we just came off the boat launch, just kind of drifted to the right, was fishing, and a DNR officer was pulling a boat back to the launch, and she dropped him off, and she just made a right-hand turn and came over and checked us. And so,
You're good. I'm going to check you.
right, exactly. So there was that time, and then, we checked the DNR officer when we were turkey hunting, right?
Oh, I forgot about that.
Remember, we were checking him because he was...
We stopped to ask him for if he'd seen any birds.
Right, exactly.
Was that the first day you and I hunted together?
That was the very first day.
And it's all been downhill ever since.
It has been. And speaking of downhill, Tom Gensel says 3 sleds and 1 vehicle went through the ice at Houghton Lake.
Ooh.
Because I think...
Houghton and Higgins were supposed to have some good ice, but
I
you're
think
putting big, heavy equipment on it. No.
Car? Well, yeah. I don't know if it's been that cold, but 3 sleds and 1 vehicle. There's 4 people that aren't happy.
No. Somebody's paying a salvage bill.
Right, exactly.
Speaking of paying the bills, we need to take a break.
Let's do that.
So we're going to step outside. We're going to take our first break. We come back. We'll dive a little bit into ATA and see what's been going on since then. We'll be right back after this.
And for those of you on the live stream, make sure you put a comment in the comment section. Hi, guys, anything. We're going to put you in a contest. Scott Bass from Easy Cut is giving away 2 little G's this show.
There you go. Jerry Lambert's on board. Jerry, get your name in the draw.
Yeah.
You can see in the comments there,
Just
the guys from Easy Cut are stepping to the plate today and giving away some stuff.
Yep, just say hi, guys, and we'll after the show we'll kind of get together. We'll put some names in a hat, and maybe tonight at Leagues we'll have somebody draw it other than us.
That's right. There you go. Maybe we'll do it live.
We could do it live.
We could do a Facebook Live. I can't reach my keyboard. I got
He
stuff.
can't reach his keyboard.
I've got things all
save the show.
discombobulated. It's I've been working, man. All right. Let's save this off. We'll get going next segment of the show. Scott, if you're still on, are you guys going to be at the Indiana Deer and Turkey show coming up? I believe that's the weekend of the 20th or 21st, 22nd of February.
Yeah, it's towards the end of February.
We're contemplating buzzing down
Making
for
a
that
day
show.
trip.
Well, that is if I can can get work off.
Yeah, you're kind of the real jobs.
Right. Here we go. 3, 2, and 1. Welcome back.
You know, we're talking about, we're just going into the last segment. We're just talking about cars going through the ice and stuff. I tell you what, driving around down here, southeast Michigan, not really seeing a lot of ice. And
Not yet. It's just starting to form. Hey, we got another person on. Make an announcement here real quick before we get into this next segment. I see Ian Sparks is on, Jerry Lambert. You guys drop a comment in the section. Get your name in a drawing for some good...
a pair of little G's.
Little G loppers.
Yeah, Scott
Easy
Bass.
Cut,
Yeah,
so.
Scott Bass is going to give away 2 this show. He has stepped up, and we'll have that drawing a little bit later after the show.
Just say hello, drop us a comment.
Yes.
Whatever.
So, you know, like I said, some people go first ice is best ice. We haven't had a lot of ice. So, and it just came across my feed. They're going to have a ice fishing derby over at 7 Lakes.
What's the date on that?
I'll look it up.
Well, there's one coming up in Linden, too, that we talked about.
I think it all works together.
Do they? Okay.
I think so.
There's a lot of them starting now, are coming about in planning stages, or they've got their dates, but hopefully we get the weather. Right now, the ice, I'd say here, I've not been out on it yet, but we've had too warm of weather. We had a lot of rain after this big snow. So, guys, just be patient. You know, those fish aren't going anywhere. Be safe.
Right.
So, you know, and when we were coming back from ATA, we ran a little weather as we got home. So, you know, it's getting to that point in the year where things are starting to change, and we'll get out on that ice here. Just be safe. Like Tom Gensel said here, that 3 snowmobiles and 1 vehicle went through up at Houghton Lake here just, I assume, this week. So don't venture out until you know it's safe, especially if you're taking heavy equipment out, like a vehicle or a sled or
Right,
a four-wheeler.
exactly.
So,
Josh and Jimmy will be at the Indiana,
okay.
and Scott is going to be at the Hunt and Time Expo next week.
Okay, Scott. So you'll probably see Danny.
I'm thinking of going over there for a day. So
I've got to work.
yeah, you got to work. So I might grab some kids and take them over there.
You know, it's just part of the nature of the beast right now, and I'll get a little more into that here in the next segment of the show when we talk about our Winter League archery. But ATA, we went down to ATA. You guys have been seeing the drops. Hopefully this week, we dropped the interview with John Dudley, joined the PSE. We dropped the interview with Donnie Vincent, and we're working on a couple others. And hopefully this week I'm going to be, if you've seen my post a little earlier, you know that I'm working on the Infuse
Right. Well,
Oz from Scentlock.
kind of trying to do a couple a week.
Yep.
time permitting, you can edit them in. Somebody said there was just about 8,000 people at the show.
Yeah.
I think it was Billy.
Yeah, 8,500-ish.
Yeah.
To me, that seemed like way down.
Well, that's an interesting take on it because considering they did not let media in for the first day of the Thursday, I heard mixed reports as to was that good, was that bad.
Right. There are 130 people registered as media.
Right. So, obviously, when you're dealing with 130 people, which isn't many compared to the 8,500.
Right.
Right. So, yeah. So it was mixed on was it good, was it bad. I heard some people saying, "Hey, glad they weren't here." Mm-hmm. On the other hand, when you're doing big announcements and stuff like that, the only people hearing it is the vendors and buyers at the time, and you don't have the media personnel to get that out.
Right.
But what we did notice is there was media on that first day.
Yeah, there was. There were some people that had different ways of making their way through and getting the job done and what they needed to get done. So, and obviously we were there with PSE, so we were working hand in hand with PSE.
Yeah, and it was it was a good time. We actually had good weather going down, which is amazing. But it was nice. It was got in there and there was a lot of stuff going on. There just was, from one end of the place to the other, and in both halls and in between, it was just once they opened up the doors at 8:30, it was just a nonstop barrage. And you saw everything from bows to arrows to the pole to help you with the camera. And
the tree saddle, I know Kim was really excited about that. And that's that. If there's anything that I wish I would have spent time and had the time to go check out, that's the one thing. And I'm hoping that actually they should be back down at the Novi show, the Outdoor Rama.
Yeah, they typically are.
There's just something about tree saddle hunting that really, really interests me. It piques my curiosity. And it's something I'm thinking seriously about starting to check out and maybe experimenting with.
Hey, why not, right? It's another tool in your tool belt to use for hunting.
Tool belt. I see what you did there.
You like that? Yeah. So,
and I just see a comment here from Jerry Lambert. He says that there's no safe ice down in southern Michigan that he knows of right now. He's looking forward to doing some winter scouting and shed hunting. Jerry, you need to talk to Ian Sparks about shed hunting. That guy.
Oh, the pitch. Oh, yeah.
The shed that he found, he didn't have to go real far to find it. It was pretty amazing. So maybe he'll drop a little comment down here on.
And Scott Bass even says it was way down, and that goes. I think that goes hand in hand with what we're seeing. We could see in the industry overall going down,
right?
And that in turn goes to what Pete Shepley and John Dudley talk about, educating and getting people back into the sport, no matter if it's archery, target, or archery hunting.
Well, and Brian Quacka Pigman said the same thing. They've all got, and that's, I guess, the synergy with PSE and all of them. The people they brought on board is they each fit a little niche. But the biggest thing is how do we capture and get kids back into hunting? That was a reoccurring theme that we saw at ATA.
Right.
And Young Guns, the people we interviewed, and we're going to be dropping that interview here, talking about fitting people with bows, fitting youngsters with bows, and getting them fitted properly.
And they were awesome when we see that interview we did with them. Not only is it youngsters, but basically any age to get them. Also, if they had a handicap. Mm-hmm. Trying to get them situated with their handicap, trying to figure out, okay, what do we need to do? And it was awesome. They go around to different events, and it's really cool.
Yep, absolutely. And Scott says here that he's got a suggestion to make it so much better. We need ATA, but it could adapt a bit. And we'll get you on the show, Scott. Actually, we'll schedule something with you and get you on, because I do want to hear some ideas.
Because they need some ideas.
Well, we talked to them.
We did
2 or 3 years ago and gave them some ideas, and lo and behold,
they used them.
they used them, but they didn't include us. It was ideas we had that we wanted to help them with, and I guess we're not big enough fish to bother with.
Yeah,
so.
well, go figure.
But isn't it amazing how you come up with some ideas and people take them and run with them, and you, not that we want credit for them, but it's like you want to be involved, with the solutions. You want to be able to help and give ideas and input, and it's just I don't understand this industry seems to be. There's people that all band together and want to work together, like the group over at Nexus and the group over at Easy Cut, that we're affiliated with, and they work, and the people at PSE, we're all working together in synergy and trying to help. And it's not about getting credit for something. It's about promoting the outdoors and for getting more people involved. And I simply don't get it, because there's the other side, people that they want to take it and run with it and take those things and, hey, look at me, look at me, look at me. And there was actually one of the guys, I won't say which team, but he posted something this week that was just simply incredible. And it hit home. It's like, if you're trying to get into this industry and do something, and it's all about you're in it for the wrong reason. It's about sharing with other people. It's about getting other people involved in the outdoors and getting them into the fold. This division just needs to stop.
Well, when we dealt with Tread, and when we first got in touch with him and we talked with him, and I'll say he's old school.
Right.
And what his thinking was of the industry.
Right.
And you basically had to sit down and kind of explain it to him where the industry has gone, too.
He was shocked.
He was literally shocked. And he just kind of, what he thought how it used to work was, back in the day, that's how it worked. No doubt about it. So, but now, we you explained to him and said, hey, it's kind of changed a little bit.
Right.
And he was just kind of like, really? So... yeah, so I think the industry in the whole is changing, and we need to get people back into it. And, well, talking about, unfortunately, we lost Jim. Mm-hmm. That shop is now closed down. And when you start taking those little shops out of the equation, you're going to have to start traveling further distances to get to a place where you can buy a bow,
right,
and shoot inside.
And get it serviced. Well, down by our other team member, Ken Cicluna, down where he lives, which is about a half hour to 45 minutes south of us.
Yeah.
He had a shop, their local shop down there closed last year? 2 years ago.
Well, I think it's 2 years now.
2 years ago. And then another local shop here that carried a different line than what Jim had. There's issues going on there now that we hear. So it's like, that's 3 shops in the area within, a 30 mile radius, right, that's all of a sudden gone, and there's a void. I mean, it's just, where do we go?
Right, exactly. And if you go to these big box stores, which is okay, mm-hmm, but sometimes one of two things: you're going to get what's on the shelf,
yep,
and what they can get, and then the bow tech that might be there might only be as good as the training that he got from whoever he got, right, whether it was a 2-week class somewhere, or maybe he had somebody that could train him, and they're not bad.
Yeah.
But then we know, like the Bass Pro here has actually got lanes to shoot, which is nice. But the Cabela's typically only have a little 10-yard side range that one person can just get the feel of the bow.
Right. So, and luckily, within 30 miles of us here, we've got Beyond the Ears over in Oxford. That's the next nearest pro shop to us. So we now have to travel, a good half hour, probably 40 minutes. It's a little bit further to get there, just the route we have to take.
Yeah, there's no straight line.
No, there's not.
It's like, you want to go over there, and you literally, it is not a straight line.
Well, what I liked about the shop we shot out of here, Spot Shooters, before they closed with Jim's passing, you could get up in the morning and you say, oh, you know what, I just want to go over and pick his brain for something, or I want to get this tweaked, or I want to go, and just have him look at something. And you just pop in, throw your gear in the cart, and within 10 minutes I was there. And that's not the case anymore. So,
and you're right. And Scott even says we'll definitely schedule something, But it's so important for the industry, and he's right. And like you said, you wake up in the morning, or like if I'm coming home and I got a couple hours in the afternoon, and I'll be like, well, I can run down there and get my bow out and just shoot a couple rounds and talk with Jim, and Yeah, that's all gone.
It's gone. Yeah.
For now.
Yeah, for now.
We don't know what's going to happen over there. So, but places like that and losing places like that is just, man, it is so tough nowadays for the little guy.
Yeah.
Whatever business you're in.
And getting back to ATA, and seeing that the traffic was down, I guess that's kind of where we started this conversation. Coming back to it, is how do we get more excitement into the industry? How do we get more people involved? And get kids off of their tablets or their phones or computers or whatever. It's like, we don't want you to get rid of the computers and stuff, because that's how you communicate with us back and forth at the show. But there has to be a certain amount of time that you dedicate to something, and then put them things away and get into the outdoors. And this week I started watching on Netflix. I'm going to chase a rabbit here. On Netflix, started watching Meat Eater with Steve Marnella, and I forgot he was from Michigan.
Well, see, that's the thing, and the dynamic of the world is changing so fast, so rapidly, with electronics, with anything out there, and we've seen at the ATA different variations of the use of electronics and stuff, and whether it be an app related or is it the SIG that's got the scope?
Yeah, the integrated scope with the rangefinder.
Right, exactly, and all this technical stuff, but yet you still got to get outdoors to use it. It's getting them over that hump to do that, and I find that's what we need to do and focus on.
Well, the thing about watching Meat Eaters, I was watching season 5, and there was at one point I forget where he was at, somewhere. I think he was out actually on a island out off British Columbia, out in the Pacific, and he was sitting up on this mountain, and he was all by himself. Obviously he had a cameraman with him, but he was reflecting about, it's not about always taking game. It's always not about taking the shot. A lot of times you spend a lot of time reflecting when you sit in the woods. And for me, getting away from work, getting into the outdoors, sitting in that tree stand, whether I see game or not, you spend a lot of that alone time, and you do a lot of soul searching within yourself, whether you're a person of faith or not. And you start to dwell on life and what does it all mean, and just cleansing yourself. And sometimes you're out there and you go to those places. He said it's alone and it's sad, but yet and still it's invigorating. It's just certain places you go to that bring out different emotions in you, and that's what you can't get. You can't get that on a cell phone. You can't get that on a tablet or a computer. You've got to go and seek adventure, and I think that's what that's the part we need to sell. I think, and not sell, but impart upon these people is the sense of adventure. Where's that went? We've lost it.
Well, some of the best times that we've seen is, for me, especially in the AP when I'm out there, is sitting in the blind watching the sunrise.
Absolutely.
Well, and it's pitch black.
Yeah.
You might hear coyotes, you might hear wolves, you might hear the crunching of deer, whatever it is,
or a tweet of a bird.
Well, it's dead silent till that time when they start tweeting, and then it's like, okay, the morning is.
Or you hear the flutter of the wings.
Yep.
Coming by your tree stand. We're fortunate enough we've got a lake at our place, and the trumpeter swans when they come in, or the geese or the ducks, whatever it may be, the waterfall that comes in it does something for you.
Right, exactly. And Jerry Lambert says Michigan Bow Hunters Association is very active with promoting archery leagues, clubs, and special events. And I can't remember who it was. We talked about this, but they wanted to do it in the schools. Some schools have it.
Yeah.
Some schools won't allow it, and it's like that's what we need to get it interested in the schools, because they're there a lot of time. Mm-hmm. And if you can get it in there and pique that interest and get the parents to go in there and find something that the child is interested in.
Absolutely.
And plus, archery. Whether you're shooting at a club and then you meet other people, or if you go to these tournaments, you meet more people.
Absolutely. Well, speaking of that, I tell you what, we're running a little long here. Let's go ahead and take our next break. We come back. Let's talk a little bit about the archery league, because that's something that we've been involved with. Actually, we're shooting tonight. That'll be our third week, and we've not yet talked about this year. So we'll step outside, we'll take a quick break, and we'll be right back after this. I see that we got some new people in, Lincoln and Tammy.
Hey, if you guys could just say hi in the comment section or say something in the comment section. Scott Bass from Easy Cut is here live with us. As you can see, his head's about to explode because he needs to share. He knows how to create the most exciting ATA ever. But he is from Easy Cut, and he is going to give away a pair of Lil G loppers. So,
and actually,
what we're doing is whoever says something except Josh Hagerman, he's excluded from this.
We'll send him some Oreos.
Yeah, we'll send him some Oreos. If you say anything in the comment section, later on after we get off the show, we're going to put everybody in the hat. We're going to draw 2 names, and if you are selected, we will get you in touch with Scott Bass so he can send you a pair of Little G's. So remember to say something in the comment section here. There you go, Lincoln.
So you guys, if you win, you'll actually have them in your hands before we have a pair in our hands.
Right. So, but yeah, it's so imperative for people to get.
You ready? Next segment? Okay. All right. I got Danny back on track now. He's in the commercial break. He was going off.
Yes.
Where were you going to go with that thought?
I don't know. I just was trying to get everybody to make a comment in the section. And where were we?
Yeah, and for those of you on the podcast listening, obviously you can't see what we're talking about, but go over to Easy Cut. Check out their products. They got the new Little G that's coming out this year. It's actually one of their guys is actually on the show or in the comment section right now and is going to give away 2 of them. So see you guys on the podcast, guys and gals. This is why you need to check out our Facebook Live.
Yeah, exactly. Things happen because this was totally
unplanned.
So
he popped in and he's helping out some people right now. So that's a good deal. What else we got here? Anybody else in the house?
Yeah, Josh is begging for Little G's.
Like I said, we'll send Josh some Oreos.
And just as easy as the afternoon fellow, Steve Denoyer is in the contest.
There you go. There he's in.
But where I was going to go with that, what were we talking about?
We were talking about getting people into the outdoors. And you were talking, actually, Jay Lambert made a comment about these archery shoots and things of that nature.
And Lincoln Roan, I see his name, and that's another part of this. Whether you're really into the food plotting part of the hunting or not, that's another way to get out in the field any time of the year. If you're going to go put a little plot out of just cutting some weeds and throwing some seed down, you can do that, like right now, you can start planning it. Jerry Lambert planned to do some shed hunting. You can do that right now. Right. Get outside. Come spring, start clearing a little plot of land that you and then get the children involved to doing those things and showing them how. Hey, let's go walk the woods and look for sheds.
Well, this year, my plan, once we get our lease secured back down to Indiana, I think March-ish, end of March is usually, I think last year that's when we started doing some work. Actually, that's when I really put the Easy Cut stuff to use. We started clearing shooting lanes and things like that. But once you get to that point in the year, and what I want to do is I want to take my grandson down with me. He's 3.5 now, and that kid he's like a little bulldozer. And we get down there, start cutting stuff and clearing some stuff. I want him to get his hands dirty. I want to get his boots on the ground and let him feel like he's a part of something and teach him about the outdoors. And that's where, like you said, food plots or cutting shooting lanes. I can get him on the 4-wheeler with me and when we're putting around, pulling the Packer Max, and doing some Cultipack and just those simple little things where you can get kids involved in the outdoors.
Exactly, and that, whether you're pulling I'll use Packer Max. This is a perfect example. Whether you're pulling the Packer Max on the 4-wheeler or whatever, or they can even help fill it up. Mm-hmm.
Putting water in the tank and weighting it down.
Yep, exactly. It's something as simple as that, getting them into the outdoors and getting them to do stuff, make them feel a part of the situation.
Absolutely.
And that is so important. Like, I know my kids are older now, but they understand why I need to go up when I do, and they're like, okay, we'll go help.
Right. Yeah. A little sweat equity.
Right.
Getting them involved. That's all part of it. But
you're right, Lincoln, and he even says it. Food plotting is a blast. Nothing better than harvesting a buck off a plot that you planted. You are so right. The whole, like last year, my best plot that I've been working on ever since we hit it logged, my daughter was sitting there and she was telling me what action was going on over there, and to me I was I was so happy to know the deer were in there grazing. We could bait, which we had bait in the field, but they weren't going to that right away.
Right.
They were in the plot, eating the greens. I was so happy. It's awesome.
It's rewarding when you put some equity into it, sweat equity, and you see the results. Much like this year when I did the mock scrapes. Put my buck baits out. We were doing some work with him, doing a little testing on something, and it just when we got the video back off those cameras, just putting trail cameras out, just stuff like that with kids is just. It's invaluable in getting their curiosity piqued. And then when you show them those pictures, like yesterday, my grandson was over, and I hadn't seen him since Christmas, and we spent some time here together, and I was watching another Meat Eater episode, and he was taking a couple guys, Joe Rogan and another guy, turkey hunting for the first time. And they're calling, and all of a sudden them gobblers lit up. And the first thing when Ben heard that, his head just snapped right to the TV. And I'm like, what's that? And he's like, turkey. He gets it, even at this young age. So get these kids out and get them involved.
Absolutely.
It means so much.
See, and it looks like Steve Denoyer's got the bug. Bought a Packer Max last spring. He said, this is awesome. He started doing no-till and building up his sand soils.
There you go.
And if you've got, it doesn't even have to be your youngsters. It could be a person that's not into it. Just get them into the outdoors. Hey, come with me and help me do this,
Yeah.
And then you start to teach them a little bit of it. And then all of a sudden, you reap the rewards, like Lincoln said, and it is so cool.
Absolutely.
And Tim C.S. joined.
Hey, Tim, what's going on? This week, we're talking a little bit about things you can do to get these kids involved in the outdoors, but talking about what we can do right now at this time of the year or this spring to get ready for next season. I actually talked with Wayne Sutton from over at the Turtle Lake Club. He works with Dr. James Kroll. And we're going to get him on the show here. We're having some scheduling conflicts right now in the next month to try to get him on, but we're going to get him, and that's what we're going to ask about. Okay, coming out of this hard winter season, once we get that first thaw, what do we need to be doing? So you can look forward to that coming up here on the Up North Journal.
Exactly, and Jerry Lambert says here, Fort Custer has an excellent youth hunt each spring with experienced hunters volunteering as guides. It's listed in the Turkey Digest, which is out right now, and he has helped with this event. He says it's excellent.
Well, and Tim Cias, they do that over in West Virginia. I believe he heads up a group that does the same thing. They take out youth during turkey season. If that's right, Tim, let us know. I think you're doing that again.
Yeah, and Tim Cias is kind of sad. He's got no snow.
We'll send some your way.
I know, right? I'd be glad to. But yeah, so 365 days a year, you can be out in the woods doing something.
That's right.
From shed hunting to clearing land to seeding to hunting.
People use hashtags for different things, and the one that I've been kind of sticking to is the one I use for the gym and everything. But I think I'm going to change things up a little bit this year, and I'm going to say always hunting. Always hunting, because that's what we do. Because mine was deer season never ends. But, it's not just about deer season. It's like,
how about always outdoors?
Always outdoors. Yeah, there you go. So, let's start, let's kind of form a hashtag around something that we can use to get people involved in the outdoors. So if they check something out, it's not always about hunting. It's about getting them involved in the outdoors. So,
you're right. And I was just about to say that, because if they're not a hunter, let them bring a camera.
Absolutely.
Let them bring a camera and say, hey, if you want to shoot pictures of, because typically I see a million squirrels.
Right, squirrels, birds, whatever.
Whatever. And you see so much different things happen in the woods. Like this year I had that fox rob a sugar beet.
Right.
I would have never guessed. And, but to see that in nature, to explain that is one thing. To see it actually happen is really cool.
Right.
So, yeah, there's definitely ways you can get people outdoors, and it's not just hunting.
Well, I'll tell you what, let's take our last break. We come back. I want to dive into the archery aspect of it, what we've been doing at leagues and how that all kind of plays in together. So we'll run this segment a little short since we went long in the first two. So we're going to step outside, take our last break. We come back. We'll continue the conversation. We'll be right back after this. All right, guys.
Okay, so
tell them what's going on, Danny.
With that being said,
on the live stream.
Unbeknownst to us, we're having a contest. It just happened for this show. Scott Bass from Easy Cut is on the show, and he is offering up to give out 2 Little G loppers to anybody. What we're going to do is if you make a comment in our comment section, we're going to put your name in a hat, and we're going to draw 2 names, and then he's going to give away to each of those persons a Little G lopper.
That's going to happen right here on the live show, just while we're live, because what we're going to do is we're going to take all the names down, put them in a hat. When we get to leagues tonight, we'll actually have somebody from leagues draw a name out for us.
And Lincoln Rowan says, #Gamekeeper.
Gamekeeper, there you go, buddy. Yep, and that's kind of been my mantra of late, the last couple of years. And, we really need to dedicate just a whole show to that portion of it, because I got some things that are cranking in my mind here lately that is just kind of refocusing some of the things that we do.
Mike's thinking.
Yeah, you see the smoke coming out of my
Yeah,
ears?
I know. The smoke alarms are going to go off here.
Right. Here we go. Stand by. 3, 2, 1. Last segment of the show. We came into this show tonight, Danny, not really knowing what we're going to talk about. Like, happens every now and then. But, man, this has been a good show.
It's been a good show. It's kind of a... It's for us, these shows, which start out with what are we going to talk about? I don't know. Can go any direction, which is kind of nice because it just lets us free float.
Right.
But obviously we're going to have people on future shows to have interviews like we always do. But it's kind of been fun.
Yeah, it has. And talking about free float, and that's something we don't want to do tonight at leagues. I don't want any free floating pen.
Right, exactly. And you know what? We've been shooting. This will be week number 3.
Yes, tonight will be week 3. We've shot 2 weeks.
So with that being said, just getting back into it. Actually, last week wasn't too bad considering we were coming out of ATA.
Last year, I remember coming back from ATA. We got back on a Saturday like we did this year, Saturday evening, and then had to turn right around, cut a show Sunday, and then go to leagues and shoot right after like we're doing tonight. And that week stuck in my mind so much because I was a wreck coming back, number one.
Right, exactly.
And I couldn't shoot for beans.
Right, exactly. And one of the things we didn't do, we cut the show down at ATA this year. So we actually had all the way up until we went shooting just to kind of
decompress and relax and get some sleep.
Try not to get the show crud, which I think we're okay.
Yeah.
Which is nice.
But I remember last year, there was that week, I wanted to blame it on the bow. I started tweaking and wrenching on the bow in the whole first half of the shoot that night.
It was the funniest thing.
And I was getting mad, and I really wanted to launch the bow right down the range. And then Danny said, dude, just relax. Just shoot.
Just shoot the bow.
So I went back, put everything back to base setting, and after that I was like, well, you know what? I blew up the whole first half. So
you did.
It doesn't matter now. Might as well just shoot. And I got up and just shot, and actually shot halfway decent the last half. But that was, I think, the worst week of leagues for me. And so far this year, when I came back, last week,
yep,
I've got something going on in my elbow, and I'm not making excuses. It's just I had this like electric shock going down on my release. Yeah, I threw a few arrows, no big deal, and I still shot pretty decent compared to last year, and that's kind of what I'm gauging. First week I was up 30 points from last year. I didn't even check what I was up last year or last week compared to last year.
Okay.
So I don't know where I was at, but I know I shot better. And actually, I was pretty doggone close to what I shot first week this year.
Okay, cool.
So it's making those slow, steady advancements, and we'll see what happens tonight. So
yeah, I was kind of tinkering at the end of last week, and I started feeling better. I think one of 2 things are going to happen. Either I'm going to buy a bigger power lens.
Okay.
I'm definitely not going to shoot with my glasses. I'm going to take my glasses off.
So, okay, that being said, because that's something I had to adjust to 2 years ago. I started to shoot with glasses, and it ticked me off because it's like, you're getting old. Well, yeah, I'm getting old. But so are you nearsighted or far? Do you have trouble seeing far?
Well, these are bifocals, right? So
okay.
I was monkeying with it in the first half.
Okay.
First rounds, and then I was like, what's going on? So
Shooting with or without?
I was shooting with.
Okay.
And then the last few rounds of the second go around, I took my glasses off, and I'm like, I think I'm having, depending on where my eyes are,
Right.
seeing the target clearer. I can see it, but clearer
Okay.
if I take my glasses off.
Okay.
So I'm like, okay, I'm getting that whole from my eye to the sight to the target thing going. And so I'm going to try it tonight. We'll see what happens. So I'm just messing around. I'm just having fun.
Be interesting. Are you going to shoot tonight without your glasses the whole night?
The whole night.
Okay, we'll compare like maybe week 1 and this one.
What I'll do, yeah, exactly. So
See how you shoot.
right, and getting out there and doing that and just. But yeah, last year at this time you were kind of ready to throw the bow.
Yeah, I was. Yeah, I guess it's a lot like golf. I've never golfed before, but guys say it's a lot like golf.
It is a lot like golf.
It's a mental game.
Well, for me, it's bowling.
Yeah,
because I'm a bowler.
You're trying to hit a mark.
You used to be a bowler. I retired from that, and I remember those days. And now it's exactly like archery. And I talked to Dee Starnes.
Yes.
She was a bowler. And
Scott Stern's wife.
Yes. And it was the funniest conversation. We both had the same yep.
Okay.
In the whole conversation. So it was just one of those things but tonight, we're going to go, we're going to shoot, and we're going to have fun.
Okay. That's the plan. What's been I guess that you say the biggest struggle so far for you has just been that differentiating between your glasses?
I'm messing around with it. And Steve Denoyer, it's shooting paper targets. We're shooting three spot
FITA style
at Oakland County Sportsman's Club.
For me, last week, and even the first week, to me, and I haven't really shot hardly any. I've shot one time since deer season, and that was Christmas Day because it was nice out. It was 50-some degrees.
Right.
But for me, it's getting on target and holding steady enough to be able to execute that shot. So what I'm getting a lot of pin float. It's my left arm is just I'm not steady, and I don't know if it's draw length. I don't know if it's me, age, strength. But did you notice what I posted this week on our journal page from Knock On Nation from John Dudley? There's an exercise.
There's an exercise.
And he gives the whole way to do this exercise that strengthens your rotator cuff muscles down deep in your shoulder joint, that actually strengthens and helps you hold on target steadier. It helps to steady that shot.
Right, exactly.
So I just need a big...
You need a volleyball.
Big volleyball now, or a volleyball size ball that I can actually use and start doing those exercises. Yep. Go to our Facebook page and check that out if you're an archer. So,
but yeah, so tonight's leagues, we'll go back and we'll shoot, and we'll see how we do. I see every week our little running joke so far has been about Jim and what kind of weather he's going to give us to drive to and from, and it looks like we're going to get there no problem at all.
Sun's out.
Okay, sun's out.
Yeah, because last year every week we went to shoot either on the way down or the way back, it was a snowstorm.
You know what? You're doing this all wrong.
I'm doing this all wrong.
Yes.
What am I doing now?
Because Josh Hagerman says Oreos will help you be steady.
No. You gave me the sugar jitters, man. It's almost like drinking too much coffee. I think that was part of an issue at one time too, is the caffeine, and I've had to kind of cut back on it. Actually, I'm out of Hunter's Blend right now. My cup's almost empty here, so have to get some more. Not before leagues though. But
see, Josh, I don't think it's the Oreos. I think it might be needing a Cliff Bar.
It could be that.
You know,
a little protein strength.
Absolutely, that helps. A little jolt.
Sugar gives me jitters.
It does.
So,
especially, it's really sad if you drop them out of your tree stand, and then you have to stare at them, right, Josh?
So, wow.
Yeah,
he's calling you out.
I'm calling him out. So, but
kind of get back to archery.
We haven't really. I haven't changed anything from last year.
Okay.
My equipment wise, now that I'm trying to run through my equipment. But I haven't changed
everything on mine set up. Actually, I'm shooting my outdoor setup with my arrows that I got that Chris got me from over there at Beyond the Ears.
Oh, that's right. You're running thin arrows right now.
I'm running the small diameter arrows instead of the big ones. I was going to get set up with a fat shaft for indoor league, and I just didn't do it in time. So I'm just sticking with what I got, and I'll worry about it later. So run what you brought, type thing, I guess.
Exactly, and so you run with, and that's what we're doing.
But I guess with this archery and the leagues and stuff we're talking about, that's a great way to get kids involved as well. Take them out to a shoot or to a place like Oakland County Sportsman's Club where they may have an open shoot and get these kids involved. That's I guess that's been the running mantra of this show.
Absolutely. We've been just starting to, two things, focus on getting people back or focus into hunting, archery, and also being healthy.
Yep. And that has been a recurring theme that we saw down there as well. And if you watched the John Dudley interview or the Donnie Vincent interview, and actually one of those, and I think it was the Donnie Vincent interview we dropped over on the PSC Archery Talk forum.
Right.
Somebody posted something about thanks for calling me a fat butt. I'll put it that way. Makes me feel real good about myself. That's not what it was about. That person missed the whole point of that interview. These interviews.
Did somebody really say that?
Yeah, and I was like, I'm not even gonna respond to that because we never said that. What we're trying to do is encourage people to be the best they can be, the best person they can be, and whether they walk a mile or whether they go to the gym and hit it hardcore 7 days a week, it doesn't matter. It's just the point of being active, and that's part of getting into the outdoors. Make your experience that much more enjoyable.
The whole topic of the conversation did not call out anybody.
Nope.
It called out people to make themselves the best at whatever they are, from
couch potato
to extreme hunter, Donnie Vincent, to Olympic shooter, to whatever you are. Just be the best at whatever you are.
Yeah, and just be healthy. There's nothing wrong with being healthy, and it's just talking about, that's really what we talked about. And if you haven't seen those interviews yet, check out, scroll down our page. You'll see them drop there. We actually got them over on our YouTube. Well, we had the first one on the YouTube page, but we're going to start posting them, cross-posting them on all of our social media platforms. And go over and check them out. It's really inspiring.
Tim Cius wants us, and as an idea for us, is to burn incense while doing the show for calmness.
I need that at Archery League. Maybe that's what I need.
Maybe burn it at Archery Leagues, right?
Well, my wife, she believes in using lavender. She uses essential oils, and it calms the dogs down. She put a drop on the dog. Maybe I'll put a little bit of lavender
behind your ear?
Behind my ear, just see how that works.
Tell me how that works out.
Little zen during archery.
There you go.
So, hey, before we get going for the end of the show here, everybody who's on the live stream tonight, if you haven't already done it, drop a comment in our live stream comment section, because we've got Scott Bast on from Easy Cut tonight. He popped in and said that he's going to give away 2 little G loppers. Anybody that makes a comment in here, except Josh Hagerman, he said. So Josh is trying to double up on all these entries here. So, but put your name in the hat, and we're going to give away 2 of those. We're going to draw a name tonight when we're at Archery League. And we're going to let you know if you won, and then we'll give those names to Scott Bast, and he'll contact you and get 2 of their brand new product. I mean, this is brand new. We haven't even got them in our hands.
Haven't seen them yet.
So that's the little G lopper.
That's right, Josh. You define your legacy, make the most of it.
Yeah, that's a great way to put it.
It is.
That's a great way to put it.
And like we said, if you're going to be a couch potato, just be the best couch potato you are.
Yeah. Just be active. Get into the outdoors. Get to the gym. Take a walk, ride a bike, what have you. But get over and listen to those interviews. I'm telling you what, it's my daughter, she listened to the one with Donnie Vincent, and she's like, and my daughter's really active. She does a lot of exercise and working out, and she really watches her food, and really proud of her of what she's done with her life in the last 2 years. And she's like, wow, that was so insightful and made an impact. So she shared it on some of the pages that she belongs to.
Right, exactly. And that's the thing. And coming from a person of that caliber, and he actually, it was Donnie Vincent that gave us the story of the gentleman that he didn't say born again, but he said
started
living again. Yes.
Living again. Yeah. He said he wasted the first 40 years of his life.
Right.
The guy was 390 plus and lost like 190 pounds. I think he said he was down to like 190, like lost half of his body weight. Go over and listen to that interview. Both of them just really, really impactful. So it gives you some new insight, not only into the outdoor world, but into just being healthy. So
that's it. So
I tell you what, we're running up here at the end of the show. We're going to hang around for a few minutes, but what I'd like to do is go ahead and wrap up the podcast portion. If those of you on the podcast are listening, feel free to share on your social media page. We encourage you to go over and subscribe to our YouTube page, our Twitter account, and here on Facebook as well. So
absolutely,
it helps us.
If you like us, share us.
Yeah, absolutely. It helps us out, and it helps the people who help us.
And it looks like our poll.
Ice fishing, 100%.
No,
nobody is getting out on the ice yet. And and actually here in Michigan, unless you live north of
way up north
of Houghton Lake, I would say that's probably a good thing.
Right?
So wait for that ice to form. And remember, be safe out there. So I tell you what, we're going to wrap up the podcast portion, and we'll see y'all next week. Okay, guys on Facebook, your last chance to get a comment in and get into this drawing.
That's right.
And we're going to wrap it up. So you better drop one quick. If you got any questions, any comments or anything like that, we'll entertain a few questions here before we jet off to Archery League.
Yes, we will jet off to Archery League.
And hopefully shoot well tonight.
Right?
Ken Cicluna just joined in. Courtney says, Josh, go eat your Oreos.
I know, right? That was funny.
And yes, Courtney, Scott is amazing. He is awesome. He's popped in here a couple times and done this for us in the last year. So we really appreciate Easy Cut support here at the Up North Journal. And we'll give it another minute or two here and see if anybody's posting anything because we're on a delay. Good luck, everyone. Yep. Thanks, Courtney. Yeah, wishing everybody luck here in the drawing. So let's see what happens. Any closing thoughts, comments, Danny?
I liked how to treat your body as a vehicle.
Yeah. How do you treat your vehicle? Do you go out there and buzz up and down the road, racing up and down the road, or do you put, you put the best oil in it, best tires on it, take care of it,
so do it with your
fuel
body
it properly, do it to your body because you only get one.
Like Donnie said, pretend you don't have any other method of transportation except you.
Right. Absolutely.
So
that's it.
Yep. So
you get one chance at it. Make the most of it. So
you do. So
make today the first day at the beginning of getting fit, and whether that's walking for 5 minutes or riding a bike for 5 minutes or exercising for 5, whatever it is.
Whatever it is.
Start small, work your way up. Don't just go out there and go gung ho. So, and actually, I've been out of the gym now for 2 weeks. We were at ATA, we didn't go. And this last week, all I was doing was editing a video, and to try to get some stuff out real quick.
Right.
From that trip. This week, we're going to be editing as well, but I'm also going to get my rear end back in the gym and start again because I can already start to feel it. It's once you start this lifestyle and you take a little time off, all of a sudden you start to feel a little sluggish. You start to hurt a little bit. Your joints start to tighten up a little bit, and
and boom, it happens.
So all right, Josh. Yeah, thanks, man. Appreciate you popping in the show tonight. Courtney, thank you for popping in and commenting as well. And thanks to Scott. We're going to go ahead and wrap up the live stream here. Hope you guys made a comment and dropped it in the comment section, because once we close this, we're going to start writing them down. You've got just a couple seconds here to get your name in, make a quick comment if you're not already in the drawing. So we're going to wrap it up. We'll be back again next week. Same time, Danny? 3 o'clock?
3 o'clock next week. We'll be here.
All right. Y'all take care. We'll see y'all again next week.